And meanwhile, Joe Biden is still doing cleanup after being caught telling another lie, this time about being arrested in the 1970s while trying to see Nelson Mandela, because he's now claiming that he just misspoke, despite telling the same story multiple times. Watch this.
They had me get off a plane. The Afrikaners got on in their short pants and their guns, led me off first and moved me in a direction totally different. I turned around and everybody, the entire black delegation was going another way. When I said arrested, I meant I was not able to move. Cops, Afrikaners would not let me go with them, made me stay where I was. I guess I wasn't arrested. I was stopped. I was not able to move where I wanted to go.
Now, as Biden bets his campaign on a South Carolina win this Saturday, he's being praised for a moving moment with a pastor earlier this week. And just listen to how the ladies of The View suggested that Biden might actually be the one to save the party after all. Have a look.
I saw this last night and I started crying. And it's pretty long, like we just cut it, but this is Joe Biden at peak Biden. He has this way of empathizing with pain and people. He's almost like the anti-Mayor Pete. Nothing is scripted.
It's interesting to me that religious people, some who are on Trump's team, like evangelicals, I don't really understand how they don't go with Biden.
I believe that a man like Joe Biden is the person that can change sort of the tenor of this country.
Although President Trump isn't buying a Biden comeback, just listen to him earlier tonight in South Carolina.
The unemployment rate in the great state of South Carolina. You ever hear that play? Now, Sleepy Joe would say the unemployment rate in the great state of Ohio. No, you're in South Carolina. Joe, you're in South. They come up and you ever see the guy that no, it's South Carolina, it's not Ohio. Okay. Then he goes, all right, Iowa? Did you say Iowa? No. No, he did that like 7 times. If I did that once, it would be the end of the road, right? Be the end of the road. They'd say Trump has lost it. They like to say that anyway, I guess.
Joining me now for a reaction, former White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus and Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce. Thank you both for being here. Reince, I want to start with you because you have an interesting theory about the actual Trump support. It's actually probably larger because in 2016, there were a lot of Republicans that stayed home that have now converted to actually being Trump supporters.
Yeah, that's right, Jason. If you look at 2016, certainly it was close, and everyone can agree to that. But you take a state like Wisconsin and Michigan and Ohio and all the rest of those battleground states, the president probably left hundreds of thousands of Republican votes on the table. Take Wisconsin, for example, and it's Friday, so I'll show you a note card. And you look at these two numbers. Now, the president won Wisconsin by 22,000 votes, a little bit more than that. The first number, the 74,000, that's how many more votes a conservative U.S. Senator Ron Johnson got than President Trump. People were not sure, but they were going to vote for Ron Johnson. They weren't 100% sure on Donald Trump. Now he's at 95% approval in the Republican Party. Those 74,000 people are not voting for Bernie Comrade Sanders. And then the second number is how many votes Gary Johnson got in Wisconsin. A libertarian got 106,000 votes in Wisconsin. They're not voting for Comrade Bernie Sanders. So if you take the 22,000 that the president won Wisconsin, the 74,000, the 106,000, that's plus 200,000 votes just in Wisconsin in 2020 that President Trump could get that he didn't get in 2016. The party and the Trump campaign, I'm sure, are tearing through that data and identifying the exact people that they need to identify that will bring more to the table for Trump than he had in 2016.
That's it's interesting and very Karl Rove of you. So thank you, Reince.
Hey, listen, being party chairman is being in charge of a lot of boring things. So that's what party chairmen do.
Amen to that. Tammy, I got to tell you, Democrats, more than anything, they just want to win. I don't think they even necessarily care who. They just want to win. But Joe Biden, who very well might win in South Carolina, had to apologize again for spewing a lie.
And, you know, where there's a lack of enthusiasm, remember, now the Clyburn endorsement will make a big difference because of the infrastructure that brings in a get out the vote effort. But when you go past South Carolina, there's a problem. The big news for Joe Biden within the last couple of days was a super PAC was going to spend, I think, like low six figures for him during Super Tuesday. Now, you've got millions that need to be spent and are being spent by the other candidates, but it's because the money isn't there for him. And you're looking at infrastructure that still doesn't exist there. So this is really one state after the other, and he may have, you know, some leadoff from South Carolina going into Super Tuesday, which is just obviously a few days later. But the fact is, if there's no money and there's no real infrastructure, what's going to happen here? And I think, you know, to your point, in the earlier clip that you played, Jason, all of those things were lies that the Democrats were saying about the president and his response to the coronavirus dynamic while he was gearing up for this and dealing with flights and how to get Americans back and to keeping everyone safe. They were still dealing with impeachment. They were still going after fake Russia hoaxes. And even more recently, they had pivoted right back to Russia. Don't forget that. This is, I know we use the word unhinged a great deal, but all of the American people should be extremely concerned that this is a major American party that is moved into this framework of lies and obstruction without any knowing, by the way, that this is a life and death dynamic for all of us. It transcends. It doesn't matter what party you're in, what gender, where you live. You could be a governor, you're just a regular worker. It doesn't matter. But the Democrats know this, and they do not care, it appears.
Well, America wants us to come together when you're fighting a disease. That's not some political party that put that forward.
But why are we the only ones saying it? Only the Republicans are saying it.
Yes, but I think America will see through that. Tammy and Reince, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason.